This panel discussion is CEO's Roundtable, Making India's Exhibition Business a Multi-Billion-Dollar Industry. I request our panel members to please join us on stage. Ms. Katharina Schlegel, COO and Deputy CEO, MMI India Private Limited. Mr. Shyam Nagpal, Managing Director, International Conference and Exhibition Services Private Limited. Mr. Michael Mandel, CEO, Reed Exhibition India. Mr. Praveen Kumar Mittal, Joint Director, FICCI.
Good evening, everyone. So let me just, without any further delay, let me just ask my panelists to introduce themselves, starting with you, Mr. Nagpal.
My name is Shyam Nagpal. I am a conference and exhibition organizer. My specialization is large-scale medical conferences.
My name is Michael Mandel. I'm looking after business for Reed Exhibitions in India.
My name is Jörg Uthmann. I'm head of mergers and acquisitions with Nürnberg Messe Germany, and also based in Germany.
I'm Katharina Schlegel. I'm the CEO and Deputy CEO of MMI India, a subsidiary of Messe Munich, and I'm based in Mumbai.
Praveen Mittal, Joint Director from FICCI, looking after the Trade Fairs Division. Thank you.
Okay. So, we've had almost a day and a half full of session with interesting topics. The last one was stupendous, as we all saw a complete house full and everybody engaged. So, here we are in the CEO session to ask the multi-billion-dollar question. So, how do we actually start getting into billion-dollar game? Maybe I would start with, what I'll do is, this is one question which is actually posed to all of you, and there are different aspects related to that, things which help for the growth of this industry. So, let me start with you, Uthman. Maybe if you can, just elaborate on this title, how to attain multi-billion-dollar business in exhibition industry in India, by highlighting maybe one aspect which, according to you, really is important.
Okay, I think each of us could speak 2 hours about this topic, just himself or herself. When I talk about the topic, I just want to raise one, which is talking about infrastructure. And before I came over this time to India, I made some experiences before the trip, during the trip, and now, after. And I just want to raise that the infrastructure, when we're talking about that, is not only the venue. Most of the times we're talking about the venue quality. That happened quite a few times already during the sessions here, yesterday and today. The other thing is also before you, as an international visitor, come to India, actually, 2 times I had to apply again for my visa because it simply didn't have the right measurement. The picture didn't have the correct measurement because India just introduced a new size of picture, so I had to go to a photographer again, didn't get the picture because he couldn't do that. I have to go to another one. And this is also for me kind of infrastructure you provide beside the city and the country, but maybe we can talk about later.
So infrastructure, according to you, and when you are talking specifically of infrastructure in the first, in general or in specific sense of terms, so infrastructure is physical infrastructure.
Yeah, I think
so that, according to you, is obviously very important.
Yeah, so it is also about the country itself.
Yeah. And Praveen, let's take an Indian perspective. From your side, what do you think? What else could really be useful, or what is your idea on the whole thing?
See, I will say that for me, to make this industry a billion-dollar business is basically finding a need and filling it up with, and filling up the gap basically. It starts with the thought process. You need to have a strategic thinking. You need to have a thought process. You need to identify the sector. You need to identify that gap wherein you can create a business idea and reach out to the masses and make it appealing enough to the people to come to you. So for me, exhibition business, taking it to the next level is identifying that gap and filling it up. So it's all to do with your strategic thinking, strategic partnership, and reaching out to that one idea which can make it happen. I'll give you an instance of today morning when the Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh was here. The president for IEIA, he made a very valid point that we need to have a educational institution or a trade academy. and the minister immediately, agreed for it. So there was a need, he identified, and it turned out into a business proposition as well. So you need to identify and then make a strategic planning accordingly.
So identifying the need and then fulfilling it.
Correct.
So that's one thing which.
Yeah, because it all starts with the strategic thinking. I mean, until and unless you have that strategic thought process, because it all starts with that one thought which leads to make into a, billionaire business, basically.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, in fact, and that's one of the fundamentals of for growing business. You need to have a great idea first of all to be able to develop the same into a billion-dollar thing. Yes, and okay, let me take Catherine. From your perspective as an international player in India, and which has actually now started organizing a number of shows, and have seen as a company, you as a person as well as a company, you've seen the length and breadth of India and seen this show business, this exhibition business organization coming up really well. So what do you think? What is very important?
Yeah, I would like to follow up on the session we just had here before, the HR or the educational business. I think there are two perspectives. We as an exhibition organizers, as an exhibition industry, we have to become attractive as an employer, in order really to attract the right people, the ambitious people. And then, of course, the second step is that we really sort of invest in education, that we set up a properly professional training for people to train them, because without proper human resources or with proper people we cannot grow. I mean, it's very simple. So we cannot talk about a $1 billion industry if we don't have the people to make this industry grow.
So education and HR. Mr. Nagpal, not only exhibitions, but even I think you do something else as well. So I don't know how you will.
Thank you. One of the ways to make this the billion-dollar industry is to go beyond mice. If you think it's mice, then your size will be what mice means. You have to call it the NICE industry, networking, international conferences and exhibitions. As a country, we have been preparing to be a convention and exhibition destination for 300 years. First, we invented zero, which is the basis of mathematics, which is the basis of computers. Then we also knew that in the exhibition and convention industry, the language would be English. So we imported the British, learned the language for 200 years, and then we realized we can now use this language as a medium of communication. What I want to say that exhibitions are great industry. If you want to grow the size, you also need to see where is the synergy. And I think large conventions have direct business, communication, economic, and knowledge capital synergy with the conventions. So I think all organizers, when we think of new exhibitions, we should also bring the thought leaders of that science, art, or commerce to grow the size. And utilization of venues will increase. There will be multiplier effect. So I am adding conventions to your industry segment as a value addition. And there's a direct positive link.
Okay, so we have, from 5 panelists, we have 5 different aspects. Oh, Jorg? Yeah, Michael, I think, yeah. In fact, Michael, you, with your perspective.
I think before we can monetize and before we become a multi-billion business here in India, I think we have to invest again. We have to invest in customer insight to gain, to achieve a customer value, which allows us then to monetize. When I'm talking about investing in customer value, I'm talking about how we're gonna structure, I just give you a couple of examples, how we're gonna structure our service in our exhibitor service, our visitor service, to gain real information out of our exhibitors and visitors. I had a lot of discussions, and we had that with Reed Exhibitions globally as well, about the length of service. Yeah? So many people say, okay, we can't ask them more than 10 questions on 2 pages, because they won't do it. So what we suggest, or what I suggest in this case, is you have probably to invest more in people being on the show floor, interviewing people, doing in-depth interviews, to gain this information. So we have to, service is a very important point. The second point, it's about the quality of database. I think we have to work a lot on database quality, gaining more information when we have visitor registration, make sure that we get all the information which we need, and probably beyond that, one more. We have to invest in technology. Technology, we talked this morning about social media, a very important point for all of our customers. These are a couple of points, and just to summarize, once again, we have really to become, rather than just a facilitator of the supply chain of our customers, we have, as an organizer, to become the integral part of the supply chain of our customers. That has to be our goal.
Okay, so we have 5 different aspects from 5 panelists here. Shyamji, you spoke about partnerships. It's not just exhibitions, it is even conventions. 2 things have to be seen together, and they are like, you know, they complement each other. And you wanted to add something else?
Conventions create the knowledge capital. There would be a conference in November which will only have 20 delegates. And I'm using this example to tell you that conventions create the market share, mind share, and the exhibitions create the market share. This conference will be in Brisbane. There would only be 20 official delegates, but there'll be 5,000 media people. That's G20. The World Economic Forum in Davos puts the entire country, the soft power of entire country, city, as a catalyst for business alliances, joint ventures. So my hypothesis is that use conventions to increase the outreach of your exhibitions to the higher level, not just the marketing or the procurement department which focuses on conventions, but take it to the CEO's level.
So real partnership. So as a facilitator also for exhibition growth.
Yes.
Okay. So that's one aspect. Catherine, you highlighted the education and the skill development part, the HR part, which is of course very important, which where you're coming from the last session which was held. Praveen, obviously, you know, the basic idea, you have to grow, you have to identify the need, and then build on it. And Michael, of course, you are coming from your international experience. What all did you talked about technology, database, so basically customer value, you know. So to enhance customer value, to make sure that the business of exhibition grows. And Uthman, of course, infrastructure, no one denies that infrastructure is obviously very important. That's one of the most important things, without which if we do not have exhibition space to sell, how do we organize shows? So 5 different aspects which are very important, but is that all? So are we concluding that with these 5 aspects, if we take care of these 5 aspects, we'll be able to make our first billion? Because today, Indian exhibition industry is nowhere close to the first billion. And we are talking about making it a multi-billion-dollar industry. So aren't we missing something here? Maybe there are some more things which perhaps are important in many different ways.
Actually, I would like to follow up what you just mentioned. You said Davos, when the entire country is more or less just in the mood of having the G20 summit there. I think infrastructure, when it comes to the physical term, everybody knows what we are talking about. This is nothing new for the country, for the venue, etc. What I see in various cities in Germany, when we are talking about different sizes, these cities do have something like 500,000 people or maybe 1 million people living there, not as large as the cities here in India. But for example, when we have the International Toy Fair, I guess most of you have heard about that toy fair, which runs every year in Nuremberg, the entire city actually lives this toy fair. It is a B2B event, means that regular people do not even have access, and they try to get tickets, but we are very strict on that. But nevertheless, the entire city is packed with toys and with information about the latest toys, so also the people of the city live it. So there is an add-on experience provided by the infrastructure of the city, and for the exhibitors, for the visitors, the company, the professional visitors during that fair. And another example, for example, is the organic show called Biofach, where there are different sessions within the city during the entire period of that show for regular people about organic food. Why does it make sense to eat healthy food, and where are the best sources, how to harvest it, how to produce it eventually by yourself, etc. So information about the industry is given to people who don't have access to the show itself, because it's a B2B event. So same as in Davos, the entire city lives this event.
Okay, so basically it's, you know, the entire city collaborating to make the show a success.
Yeah, of course, the show organizer, the venue owner has to promote a little, but the people are very open to accept it. And toys, everybody knows somebody who wants toys, and so they get very excited about that.
So is it just the people aspect of it, or maybe even, you know, I mean the
Actually, when we as the organizer do it, of course, it's we want for the exhibitors, when they leave the venue and go to the hotel or go to a restaurant or something, and they see how there is promotion for the entire industry in the city, and they see the smiling faces around, we want to provide a positive attitude, of course, and want them to come back next year. And as the numbers show, the entire venue of 170,000 square meters is sold, and it is too small.
Praveen, you would like to add something to this?
See, while we were speaking, I mean, I like to draw a small fact that, you know, if you closely introspect your own business, any event, for any event organizer, I mean, we are kind of in a stage of denial, wherein we don't want to accept that, you know, what went wrong, why couldn't we achieve the targeted figures, why didn't we make it up to the point where we wanted to make. I mean, close introspection is very, very necessary. So it becomes very important that if you want to reach that 1 billion step or want to make your business grow, it is very important to introspect your own exhibition, what you did last time which did not fructify, so that you could next time make, you know, those changes, amendments, bring in that, you know, component into it so that you succeed. I had in fact penned down certain points. Think big. Think exponential, shoot for 200% growth, vis-a-vis 20%. That would really give a lot of impetus, because at least you'll reach somewhere. Do the unconventional. No one became a billionaire doing what everybody else is doing. So it becomes very important that you touch that unconventional ground. Believe in yourself and your idea. I'm again harping on the fact which I said, that find that idea and work on it. Share your vision. I mean, the human resource aspect, which Catherine just said, I mean, it becomes very important that you share your idea with your colleagues. Execute it properly, focus, and never give up. So it becomes very important that you closely introspect your own event, exhibition, and then try and make suitable amendments so you're able to, you know, bring in that desired change and reach the desired figures, basically.
Yeah, no, I mean, the need is obviously important, but the product quality itself, I mean, product being the exhibition, the trade fair organized by the organizer, so the quality of that show is probably what you are referring to.
Absolutely. It becomes very, very important for you to able to sustain your exhibition, that you deliver the quality product. It's extremely important.
Catherine?
Yeah, I would like to, is it, yeah? On this quality aspect, I mean, but how do you measure quality? You know, what is quality? And I think what we definitely need are some kind of criteria, you know, how to measure quality. I mean, currently, when I see a show, I cannot be assured whether it was really 10,000 cross, whether there were really 10,000 visitors, whether really 600 exhibitors. I mean, nobody really, you know, can prove this. And I think what we need is a kind of an independent, you know, auditing institute or auditing criteria. And then we as organizers also have to be open that we get audited, you know, that we are open for that in order to improve our quality. And then we get a kind of certificate or seal or whatever, you know, certified by. And then the exhibitor or the client knows exactly, okay, that's a good show. And if there is 10,000 square meters, then it's 10,000 square meters. I mean, we do this in Europe, you know, these FKM numbers. So where you really is an independent auditing institute, really checking each and every show. And I think that's, you know, comes to Euro area, this quality aspect.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting point. You know, auditing of trade fair data by independent auditors. Because I think even from my experience, what happens is that many times, I mean, it's not that people or the businesses, they do not have money. They have, all of them, they have their marketing budgets, and which are distributed over maybe different, channels of marketing, and they see maybe trade fairs as one of them because they have print media, they have TV, they have so many others, they have their own direct marketing, avenues. So what, as trade fair organizer, we have to see that, we are able to get a big chunk or a major chunk of their marketing spend and divert it to our activity, that is trade fairs. So I think one thing where we lack there is credibility. So if you have an independent auditor certifying that, okay, here is a show which guarantees you the kind of visitors that you want, your direct business context. So exhibitors, for them, obviously, then all the other aspects, the positive aspects of exhibition, like the direct contact, face-to-face, everything comes into place then, because if you don't have visitors, the kind of visitors that you want, it's not going to translate into nothing. So credibility, perhaps, is one thing which helps.
Yeah, I really see this auditing also as a kind of service to our exhibitors. And as you said, they have a really limited marketing budget. I mean, they distribute it between online media, exhibitions, etc. And really to offer them a service to see that's a good qualified show, so it's worth spending my marketing budget there, and not to go to a show which can be sure what's coming out of it.
So that will definitely add to the kitty and will help us reach our first billion. Mr. Nagpal.
At the moment, the convention and exhibition industry is actually not an industry. You do not become an industry just because you want to become. The government must assign you the value as an industry. If you look at all the policy documents or financial budget documents in India, and I have done that for the last 25 years, nowhere it mentions convention and exhibition industry. What does the government treat this industry is as an economic activity. So you pay a service tax of 12.36%. So if you see a typical hall, there is a social marriage function, they also pay 12.36% tax. And you have a high-tech, computer exhibition, you also pay the same tax. So please be aware, and we need to go back to the drawing room at the moment. In the Government of India record, it's not an industry. How do we make it an industry? We first give them official, documented role we play as an industry, both in knowledge capital, in conventions, building, and building of markets. So we need to project this industry not as an activity that we add value, both direct value to the cities or places we go to, and the joint ventures, and the agreements, and the companies, and the products which come out. So we need to project that value. Number two, our projects must become at venues which should be treated as SEZ, Special Economic Zone. If this was a building which was doing software, the same premises will be declared as an SEZ under the Information Technology Act, which means our positioning of what we do has to be a business catalyst, that we are a catalyst for the economy. We build national capital through the conferences. We do skill building. So our positioning has to be building of knowledge economy and building of new markets, and that leads to employment. So we need to position our wealth creation ability for the nation and our knowledge creation ability for the employment. Number three, our projects must become bankable projects. If I wanted to put a mini steel plant, I can appoint a consultant, get a DPR, go to a bank, and the production of steel will happen after 4 years. I will get concessions for land. I will get financial assistance from banks, and I will get credit. Right now, the conference and exhibition projects, and some of them are $1 million projects, they're big projects. They're not a bankable project. So right now, our agenda to make an industry should start from understanding of what qualifies it to be industry. 3 recommendations. Get your figures, research done from an extremely credible source, something like Indian Institute of Management. or McKinsey. Number two, in all our PR, in all our press releases, we have to do what NASSCOM has done. Every press release starts with $118 billion industry, so many million employees. That's why the moment there is any country making any rule against Indian software industry, including visa issues, the entire government machinery, including the foreign ministry, the commerce ministry, they take up the issue as a national industry. Number three, we need to also need figures to see how the IT industry got that status. There was a National IT Commission, which was appointed by Prime Minister Bajpayee that time. So perhaps we need to do a lot of work to get the status of an industry, and of course, we must do all other steps to grow that industry. But getting that status declared as an economic activity, beyond an economic activity to an industry is very important. Yeah, thank you.
So that's one important aspect. In fact, this was even discussed during I remember during the last edition also. I mean, the industry status. This is in fact one of the prime objectives of IAIA. You know, it's on our agenda to attain this industry status, and been pushing hard for this. But obviously, it's not a.
I just want to add, I'm happy that the association, and I've had a lot of discussion with Mr. Rakesh Kumar over the last 2 years, including the issue of the HRD, the capacity building, the skill building. I'm glad those things are coming up. This is also an issue we have discussed. It's not going to happen in one day, but our focus remains that we are builder, catalyst of business, and we are catalyst of skill building and knowledge capacity of this country. Yeah.
Michael, apart from customer value in.
Well, it was a very bold statement, by the way. Well, just one more statement I think where especially the internationals have to work on or can work or further improve. No, well, improve is the wrong word, or just work on that one, is identify our strong brands we have in our portfolios globally, assess whether these brands are, can be cloned to India, because I think if you bring strong brands to India, what we have already done, this can really give a real push to the overall quality of exhibitions. One more important point is on that one is, of course, you have to localize it. You have to adapt it and adapt it to the Indian requirements. But bringing in international brands, bringing in international exhibitors, bellwethers, definitely will foster the overall value of the exhibition industry, and will give a good input to our goal to become a multi-billion dollar industry.
Okay, so basically, 10 great ideas from 5 panelists here. Infrastructure as in not just physical infrastructure, even the soft infrastructure, if I may say, so infrastructure in its entire spectrum. And then, Michael, customer value, and of course, internationalization and geo-cloning. Bringing shows, bringing new ideas, in a way, continuing with whatever you've been doing also internationally. I think this is a very successful Reed formula, so to speak. So Mr. Nagpal, of course, collaboration between conventions and exhibitions. Synergies, exploiting synergies to the maximum to make sure that they complement each other and add to the kitty of the first $1 billion that we want to make. Incidentally, I don't know, okay, maybe that's a question we can put even to the audience subsequently. So this, and then Praveen, of course, the two basic facets, the two basic requirements of to grow business. First of all, you have to have a grand idea, maybe $1 billion idea itself. Unless it's not a $1 billion idea, how can it actually give you that billion? Or maybe it has to be a $10 billion idea so that you can get to get the first billion. Yeah. So, and then, of course, to be able to have that belief in that idea, to be able to develop that idea, and to make your product, which is a trade fair, intrinsically good, so that, customer feels that, okay, yeah, this is something which has been promised to me, and this is something which has been delivered to me. Even going by what you mentioned, education, of course, because you need quality people, as we discussed even in the earlier session. Quality people are the lifeline of any business. not just exhibition business. But then in exhibition business, all the more because we are terribly lacking, trained manpower at all levels. It's not just management levels, it's even at lower levels. So that, coupled with the idea which you said even of trade fair data certification, which is going to add to the credibility so that we can get our share of the pie, because that is very important. Unless we have to identify the possibilities, the business which is there in the market, and then to get it translated into real business for us. For that, you need to have a credible product. A good product, then it has to be transformed into a credible product, and that will be through the data certification. So that's obviously one thing which is very important. So 10 grand ideas, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you people have some other ideas to share and maybe to add to what our panelists here have said. Talking about, the first billion. I mean, a billion as on today's exchange rate would be what? About 6,000 crores? So 6,000 crores would mean, okay, we have to see where do we stand as of now, because that's also another question, because unless we want to, unless we know where do we stand right now, how much is it that we have to attain to be able to achieve that objective? What would be the current size of the exhibition industry as of now? I don't know. Bala?
We've been touching upon this subject for the last couple of days with some of our friends in the industry here. I don't know, because the last seminar we spoke, and probably when we had the white paper, we were saying some 1,200 crores. But we had a calculation and a back of the envelope calculations yesterday evening. But certainly, I think it's much more, and probably, as for my gut feel says, probably, I really would still look at it, maybe 3,000, 3,500 crores. That should be my figure.
Okay. In fact, yes, Mr. Ravinder?
5,000.
5,000 crores. So that means we are pretty close to making the first billion. If the gap...
Rajiv, don't forget that we've talked about how data's problems, collections and all, but you've got the fixed variables where we can easily get the data from, the Hitexes, the BICs, and, Greater Noida, ITPO, everything. वो तो हमारे पास हैं. We've got all of that, right? Then if you give yourself a variable, I would say people say only maybe 10-20% in the two-tier cities or in exhibitions which take place on, temporary structures. That is phenomenal. I mean, if you look at places like Jaipur or where, out in the open, you have shows like Stonemart. My estimate would be that figure alone is about 40 to 50%. So when you calculate a fixed variable which is known, a fixed price which is looked upon, as he has correctly said, Bala, that it's about 2,000, 3,000 crores. So it's very simple arithmetic. You add on another, 40, 50%. And in fact, a study has been done. Don't ask me where. But 5,000 crore is a figure. It is phenomenal, but it is not recognized because it doesn't come up front. Am I right, Shyam?
See, what you can't measure, you can't manage. So what we need to do is get that figure certified, ratified by an authority or an institution whose statement would be taken as good value for further lobbying and discussions. So I agree with you in terms of guesstimation, but if once we go to the authorities or the people who make policies or to the media, we need to give them a source which is authentic to take the policy decisions.
I think more than that, Shyam, not just giving the figure, but how we've come to the figure. It's great to sit here in this forum and say we're very happy, we have 5,000 crores, But to how to come to it, and I'm giving you some reasons as to why I think this is the figure.
No, actually, as happens very often in India, getting the right data is not an easy task.
I think there are a lot of studies being done. The Convention Council in US has done a study of the meeting industry. Denmark has done a study of the economic impact of conferences. UK has done a study. So we do not have to only worry whether we have companies here who can do the economic impact studies. If there is a need, then we must bring the experts from wherever they exist, whose study is, let's say, recognized by other countries, by ICA or by MPI. So, you know, like for everything else in our country, wherever we need an expertise, don't we go wherever it exists in the world? So if there is a need to involve, let's say, IIM Ahmedabad with another consultant who has done a study for a country, and we need to bring them together to have recognition of IIM Ahmedabad here, who will do ratification of the Indian system, and also have a global recognition. So I am recommending that we should actually hire somebody like McKinsey and IIM Ahmedabad to put up a study which has credentials in both the places. But I think important to have that study done, otherwise all our fundamental marketing plan for the industry depend on how authentic is our base study.
Maybe I can just add something there on the, making a study out of it. What we did in Munich, we had 50 years of Messe Munich now, and we did a study on the economic impact of the trade fair exhibition. And I think this is also something we should really do here. And it was amazing that, for example, alone, Messe Munich in Munich, what the economic impact is. So, for example, the figures was that in Bavaria and in Germany in total, only Messe Munich creates around 25,000 jobs. 25,000 jobs, only Messe Munich. So when you can see that we have Messe Düsseldorf, we have Messe Nuremberg, whatever, when you multiply this. And the total turnover which is made with Messe Munich, all the adjusting industries, is about 2.6 million euros. And the tax revenues are about 490 million euros. And I think these are figures we really also should try. One city, only one city. And I think these figures we really should also try to get here for maybe for Mumbai or for Bangalore as an example, and then calculate above. And I think this will also help us in making the exhibition industry recognized as an industry, as you just said, because then we have the proof that we are an industry, creating money, creating taxes, etc.
David.
Thank you. In support of your desire to do additional research, let me give you a source, as she did, in Europe and Germany, but the Convention Industry Council of the United States, which is 33 organizations, in 2013 developed an economic significance study. So it's conventionindustry.org, and just look for the economic impact or significance study done by PricewaterhouseCoopers. So in support of your thoughts, that's a good source, and it's been done 3 times now in the last 10 years. So it's got credibility.
Yeah. Balwinder?
Yeah, Rajiv ji, this is Syed here. Yes, Syed. On your left.
On my left.
Yes.
Yes.
More left.
More left. Ah, there, okay.
Yeah. See, there has been a lot of deliberations and discussions on the size of the exhibition industry in India since last 2 years, as Bala rightly said, even during the last seminar. First of all, we have to decide ourselves, that what is that we are looking at including in this industry. Are we looking at B2C? Are we talking about just B2B? Are we talking about just the indoor space of the exhibitions like you're sitting in High-Techs, or the outdoor area also? Because I'm sure you must be aware that there are number of trade fair organizers and big chunk of the trade fair contractors, the outdoor exhibition contractors, who are doing the exhibitions outdoors. If you talk about the data that Trade Fair Times has gathered in last year, we had 4,500 exhibitions across the country. That includes B2B and B2C both. Now, even if you calculate the average of 3,000 square meter of each show, the size of the industry grows to not less than 18,000 crore. Now, it's up to us to decide whether we are deliberating just the B2B exhibitions, because there was a UFI study recently which I objected to, which says that India is about 1200 crore industry, which was absolutely wrong. I am still on my, same comment, and I can prove it. We have the data with us. So my point is we should first of all decide whether we are talking about just B2B or B2C also, the outdoor exhibition, just the indoors, and then come to a conclusion. This will be a better idea.
Yeah. So
Thank you
what
very
should we be including that? Praveen?
It's a composite, when you're talking about exhibition industry, how does it matter? I mean, exhibition is an exhibition. It could be outdoor, indoor, B2B, B2C.
Absolutely. So that's what
exhibition industry is an exhibition, I mean.
Fine. So that's why if you're talking about exhibition industry, then it is not less than 18,000 crore. It could be more than that, but not less than that.
Because even in any case, if you were to consider this number of square meters which are occupied by trade exhibition, because in India, since we are already struggling with the physical infrastructure which does not exist, so we cannot actually, in the case of India, we cannot really discount all the exhibitions which are held in in hangars.
Absolutely.
And they are all exhibitions. In fact, that way, if you see, I mean, India in many ways would probably have the history of organizing trade fairs which dates back maybe more than millennia. I mean, we have even in that sense, maybe even in the villages, the kind of melas that you were organizing, where you have all these the animal.
No, what we are talking about 4,500 numbers from C, B, and A cities of India.
No, but just to give a perspective on this, because even for example, in some European European countries, like I have the example of Italy, for example, in Verona, you had the agricultural show, which is the famous agricultural show or the equestrian show. 100 years ago, they were organized as pure agricultural, animal shows.
Like for example, Pushkar Mela in India, which is the oldest exhibition of India, for that matter.
So the point is, do we need to include even those?
Exhibition is an exhibition. If I talk about Aero India, on which we collaborate with Ministry of Defense, I mean, the total area is over 100,000 square meters, out of which indoor would probably be about 40,000 square meters, and
Absolutely.
the air display area, if you put everything together, is about 100,000 square meters area. I mean, that's the length and breadth of the exhibition. So an
that's why
exhibition,
I
as per
gave-
me, is an
Actually,
exhibition.
those are, what is business? B2B. They are actually B2B shows because you buy and sell all sorts of commodities in those shows.
I mean, I can just add this. I mean, when we look at PC India, we did it twice in Mumbai in the MMREA, and there was no exhibition ground at all, and we put all the hangars up there, and half of the show was outdoor. And I mean, this was a purely B2B show, a very
Absolutely.
professional one.
That's what the point is. I mean, we are talking about the exhibition industry as a whole, outdoor and indoor put together, and all cities put together. The numbers are 4,500. You can calculate yourself at an average of 3 to 4,000 per square meter.
So back of an envelope calculation, if it is 18,000 crores, that already makes us a $3 billion industry. So what are we talking about? We want double-digit million. Of course, we are never satisfied.
This is again the matter of debate and endorsement by some authority. What we are talking about is through our own sources, but it has to be explored further. Thank you.
Balwinder, you had a point.
Yeah, this is regarding the point which came up on the research and studies by IIMs, or all these institutes. I would like to share something which will be very interesting on the lighter side. In FICCI, in last 2-3 years, internally we have gone through these studies by Booz and Company. Then there was something very interesting on cost cutting by Ernst & Young. And everyone knows they are very good. You know what suggestion they came up for exhibitions? They said instead of ITPO or all these fixed venues, you should use Bharat Ghars. So imagine the kind of studies and recommendations they come up with. So you can't trust them. The study should be done, among this group or through this association. That was point number one.
Well,
Point number two on Syed Saab's B2C component. If you take B2C also into the account, then all these Shani Bazaars, Veer Bazaars are also exhibitions. Then these figures will go into multiple billion-dollar industry. Okay. That's it. Thank you.
So we have, very valid points. In fact, I think we'll have to first of all agree to what do we want to, what kind of business we want to include in when we are going to calculate the size of the of the exhibition industry. But maybe we can come out even with two different sizes, like one which includes B2C and one which is purely limited to B2B and conventions, which go obviously hand in hand. So I must also inform the House that we, as association, we did make an attempt to gauge the size of the industry a couple of years ago. It was not a successful venture on that occasion, but I think this is something which, as you said, and many other people in different fora have said, maybe it could be one of the ideas which and one of the tasks which the exhibition industry should take up to, first of all, gauge the size, the real size of the Indian industry, and from there we can build up. So if there are no other questions, I would like to close it here, also because we are running terribly short of time, running terribly behind schedule. So I will end it here. Thank you very much, gentlemen. A big round of applause for all our panelists.